It's the Dana Pretzer Show on Scared Monkeys Radio. And now back to the show.
Okay, we're going to continue on with our look back at the Natalee Holloway investigation now 3 years later. And someone who's very close to the investigation is former Secret Service agent, current private investigator, Art Wood. Hi, Art.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome back to the program. It's been 3 years. You and I have talked about this case many times. Did you think that we'd still be talking about it 3 years later?
Well, you know what? Nothing surprises me. I still think this case can be solved. We all know that we're real close as far as what happened in Holland, and we all know that Europe did it, and it's just a matter of the prosecutor going forward and doing something about it.
And that's all we can hope for in a situation like this, because there's been so much mishope and so much false hope that, you take and look at what's out there now, and there's been some news stories about, and I'm going to talk to Jossie Mansour here in a few minutes, about a tennis shoe being found and other things. And the case has been relatively quiet in the media, Art, but there's been things going on in the background, maybe. Have you heard anything? Can you share with us?
Well, I could share with you the fact that there's some witnesses come forward that you're on at a different part of the island, not close to the fishermen's huts, but more inland toward that pond that was drained, and a different pond than that, actually. And he was going down the street with no shoes, or one shoe on and one shoe off. I know that the prosecutor and the police but they wouldn't drain that new pond. They didn't do anything to find the missing tennis shoe. They're just it all corresponds. Dan, it all corresponds with what we know happened. We know that Natalee died in the hands of Joran van der Sloot. And whether it happened at the beach or at a pond, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
What matters is who got rid of the body. We know that they took it out to sea. It's frustrating for Dave and Beth and everybody else that loves Natalee. You're talking. I'm preaching to the choir. I know that you care.
Yeah. And we do, and all my listeners and everyone involved, the Scared Monkeys and all that, we're here for them. But it's to the point now where if something comes out, Art, and I think you understand this, we're almost expecting to be disappointed that it just turned out to be a sour lead. Would it be better right now that if there was a way to clamp down on any information, to just let it fall, let the pieces fall where they may, and hopefully we can at least bring Natalee home, if not get these three gutter scum, I'm going to say something else, but I can't here, to court?
Dana, listen, I don't agree with that at all, and the reason is that I think that Joran made a confession on national television. I think that tape that was made where he confessed to Natalee dying on the beach, and the fact that they got rid of the body was enough for the prosecutor to go forward.
Right.
I just don't know what's taken them so long.
Just before my interview with you, I had Clint Van Zandt on, and I think Clint said it best. He said, only in Aruba can you confess to murder and nothing happened to you. Your thoughts on that statement? Well,
I'm waiting for the prosecutor to do something about it. I think that Joran did confess. Your listeners and myself and you and everybody else in the world that has followed this case knows that what he said on those tapes was true.
Right.
Did he mean to kill Natalee? There's nothing on that tape that convinced me that he did.
Right.
But he certainly didn't mean to save her, Dana. He certainly didn't take any steps to save this young girl's life. And that's what bothers me. I mean, he needs to be prosecuted. Is it first-degree murder? Probably not. But it is something that he needs to answer to.
And then the part that bothers me the most is not helping her, and then taking her and throwing her away like a piece of garbage.
Right, absolutely. That's what I said. He didn't mean to kill her, but he didn't mean to save her.
Absolutely. That part just absolutely drives me around the bend. Now, just to refresh my listeners' memory, this is Art Wood, former Secret Service agent, Natalee Holloway case investigator. Who put the body on the boat and took the boat out, Art? What do you think? I know what you're going to say.
Well, I know who did it. I mean, it was Paulus Vandersloot with the help of the Gottenbosses. Whether it was Kuhn Gottenboss and his father, or just the father, or the father and son, it was that boat, and they did it.
How has the search for Natalee been? I know there was some financial problems. The Deepwater search stopped, for lack of a better term, but they marked many, many, many different spots. Have you heard anything more about that?
Well, actually, they still have plans to go back and search over 100 spots that are marked. But quite frankly, Dana, I'm not encouraged. I'm not encouraged because they haven't raised enough money to pay for the divers. I'm not encouraged because the more time that goes by, there could be less and less left, even if it was in a crab trap.
Yeah, absolutely. Art, do you see this case going to trial in the near future, or will you and I be talking about this in a year?
Listen, Dana, I've told you this 1,000 times. There's more evidence to convict Joran Vandersloot in this case than there ever was against Scott Peterson. The only difference is that this is in Aruba. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't imagine why the prosecutor hasn't gone forward.
No, that's.
So, I don't have any prediction. I only know that the whole world knows that he did it.
Something interesting, just before I let you go, Art, is, and I don't think I've heard it in the media except from you, is that we heard lots about computer analysts looking at the computers of Joran and Paulus Vandersloot and all of that, and usually a computer is a good piece of evidence, a good tracking point as far as what really happened. There's some interesting evidence that was found on Paulus Vandersloot's computer, was there not?
Absolutely. It absolutely convinced me that Paulus Vandersloot is the person that Joran called to help him get rid of the body. When he says he called his friend, I didn't believe a word of it. But he says, Dana, listen, I think I've repeated this to you before, but he says when his friend showed up, he said, oh, you must go home. I'll take care of this. Anyway, the conversation was father to son. It absolutely convinced me that it was Paulus that he called. And that information corresponding with what happened with Paulus' computer convinced me that Paulus is the person that got rid of the body. There's no doubt in my mind.
I couldn't agree more. Listen, Art, I appreciate this. I know you're following the case closely, and you and I will talk again soon.
All right, take care, Dana.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Bye-bye. That's Art Wood, former Secret Service agent, investigator involved in the disappearance of Natalee Holloway. What I thought I'd do now for the next 10 minutes or so is open up the phone line. And we don't do this often on the program here, but I think that it's an important enough topic that we'll do some open phones before we bring Jossie Mansour on to get the perspective of he and his newspaper, Diario, and get your thoughts on the third anniversary. I know we're a little over it, but the third anniversary of the disappearance of Natalee Holloway, and still no answers. But I'll take that back and say, yeah, there are lots of answers. We've seen them, and Art Wood just said it very well, I believe. You know, he said it over and over and over again, and he was getting a little excited, and I understand where he's coming from. You know, how many times do you have to, bark like a dog before people are going to say you're a dog? 306-842-7884. 306-842-7884. Just a minute or so, 30 seconds, whatever you want to call, and give me your thoughts, your impression on 3 years later, the Natalee Holloway investigation. Of course, this show is podcast, so if you're not listening live, I ask that you not call. Only those that are out there listening live, and we'll take a few calls for the next 8 minutes or so. I won't keep you on the air long, just long enough for me to take your opinion and your impression on why is this gone 3 years. Clint Van Zandt said it best, Ramsey's 10 years. Other cases have gone that long. All we can do is hope and pray that it won't go that long, and it, at minimum, find Natalee, bring her home, take her back to Alabama, where she belongs, and will there ever be a fair shake on the island of Aruba? I'm not sure. It certainly looks like there won't be. I kind of, I hate to say it and hate to give up hope, but as far as getting a proper conclusion to the investigation, besides finding Natalee, is, I would love to see it, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. 306-842-7884. We're going to take a quick break and come back with your calls here on Scared Monkeys Radio.